Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, our group, Center Group, we present challenges of doing e-business during pandemic. Okay, my group is Mr. Muhammad Azri, Mr. Muhammad Irwan, Mr. Mazame, Siti Zaleha, and Shahiran. Okay, our group is challenges of doing e-business during pandemic. Okay, the COVID-19 epidemic has had an impact on various aspects of the global economy and society. Okay, we have 432 merchandise and e-business owners to better assess the effect of e-business outbreak in Peninsular Malaysia. The questionnaire was developed based on previous study conducted by Global Health Research. It consists of 2 sections with total of 50 questions. The poll sample includes e-commerce, merchandise, and company of owner from government list. Okay, this is introduction, background information, purpose, and scope. Okay, for background information, online sales of physical goods have seen a surge as a result of the COVID pandemic. Initially, many business and consumers responded by stockpiling medical supplies. Now, government have enforced social incarceration measure and or temporarily closed non-essential business. Business are facing a workload and home users need to sustain themselves from afar. Okay, online purchase of some item as well increased demand of digital service have resulted in an increase in online purchases. As a result, several traditional retailers have shifted their focus to internet shopping. The growing number of customers flocking to digital services are compelled service provider and telecom carrier to expand network capacity. Okay, and then the purpose. Okay, the purpose of the research to find the COVID-19 impact on business, e-business, and enabling how the business is conducted. Okay, solution. A sample of 132 responded in different age and different business that we have doing a survey. Okay, thank you. That's all from my part, Siti Zaleha. Thank you.
My name is Mazazame bin Muhammad. I will presenting literature review. First, impact of COVID-19 on online business. The COVID-19 epidemic served as a sobering reminder that pandemics, like other uncommon events, have occurred in the past and will continue to do so in the future. Even if we are unable to prevent the transmission of dangerous viruses, we should nonetheless be prepared to lessen the impact of their outbreaks. This unit discussion is a component of a larger effort being made across the world to address some of the issues that are connected to pandemics. There are a total of 13 articles and they cover a wide range of themes, including travel, banking, and higher education, as well as trends in customer behavior and industry, legal problems, employee and leadership issues, and more. While most of the research done in the field of transition studies has focused on long-term shifts, such as those caused by climate change, our study demonstrates how the specific conditions that prevail during the pandemic created a brief window of opportunity that may soon be lost in the post-pandemic era. For the second, the impact of e-business and competitive advantage. This article discusses how online business affects a company's competitiveness. Authors approach to e-business and competitive advantages are investigated, and the impact of e-business on regular company procedures is analyzed. This model created a competitive edge by incorporating e-business and business operation. E-business value shouldn't be equated with competitive advantage. Incorporating e-business solution into regular business procedures may improve all value chain operations, but its impact on a company's financial success is debatable. E-business solutions are crucial to achieving a competitive advantage according to research on conducting business online. The empirical study on e-business and competitive advantage is sparse. A literature review revealed that e-business can be positively affect several firm procedures. Originally, a competitive advantage means increased revenue and or sales via e-business solutions. The model tied e-benefit businesses to 9 separate business processes, and there are 5 competitive advantages, despite research showing that e-business solutions benefit organizations. Number 3, impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on online customer purchasing behavior. Online consumer behavior is essential with COVID-19 and e-commerce. This study aims to provide a scientific methodology for analyzing online customer purchase behavior during COVID-19 epidemic. Category questionnaire and correlation analysis were used. This study used a questionnaire to determine online shoppers' habits. The scientific contribution is a methodological toolbox to measure online consumers' purchasing behavior, which identifies the most relevant features and allows measuring the dynamic of their activity during the study period to detect major trends and behavior changes. Internet shoppers' prompt decisions were valued. Online supermarket visits increased during the coronavirus outbreak. This demonstrates online shoppers' dedication. Consumer experience and decision fitness boosted its effect. Introversion's effect diminished. Introversion does not affect decision-making speed or online shopping consistency. Consumers become less e-commerce averse and more judgment hesitant, reducing the relationship between these elements. Online shoppers learn. Internet purchases value decision-making speed. Consistent online purchases, introversion, adaptability, consumer understanding, and rapid decision. The suggested method dynamically evaluate online purchasing behavior to provide global, regional, and country patterns. E-commerce company can change regulation and practices to boost sales during a pandemic. Self-isolated individuals spend more time online, reducing customer acquisition costs. Innovative entrepreneurs should take advantage by updating their websites and social media accounts. More participants improve accuracy. Complex data processing software must be developed to automate this procedure, reduce time, and allow regular customer behavior diagnosis. This is possible given the difference between money obtained after the mechanism adoption, its cost, and income before its deployment. Identifying important trends in purchasing behavior could help states establish e-commerce strategies for enterprises and online public service. Number 4, managing the effectiveness of e-commerce platform in a pandemic. COVID-19 had devastated enterprises. Therefore, a systematic approach were established to examine the influence of PEEP on customers' perceptions of economic advantages. The study applied the theory of users and pressure while also integrating pandemic threat. This study uses quantitative survey and analysis. 617 internet users show that pandemic anxiety moderates PEEP, economic benefits, and sustainable consumption. Multiple settings should be used to test theories. Pandemic fear prompted PEEP to build a framework for securing online personal and transactional data from information leakage and credit card fraud. The prospect of a pandemic COVID-19 virus drive greater planning and response, according to this data. Companies must build e-commerce platforms and collaborate with offline means to supply products since clients increasingly use online sources to avoid contagious disease and engage in sustainable consumption practices. Last but not least, e-commerce in the times of COVID-19. UNCTAD UNTAD has prompted e-commerce and digital solutions in response to the new coronavirus epidemic for over a year COVID-19. Also is concerned about growing digital inequality. UNTAD and its partner organized the virtual 2020 e-commerce week for the e-trade for all project to study the crisis repercussion and major digital problem in the context of COVID-19 pandemic. UNTAD analyzed e-commerce businesses in developing and low-income countries to evaluate the impact of crisis, identify major trends and challenges, and offer public and private policy responses. UNTAD e-commerce capacity building activity include national e-commerce strategy or an e-trade readiness assessment for all participating countries. 257 e-commerce representatives out of 900 poll respond. Companies selling online and third-party internet marketplace are separated. During the COVID-19 crisis, 12 nation governmental sector boosted e-commerce and leveraged it for economic recovery. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Syahiran bin Ashraf. I will be presenting about the research methodology and the data collection and analysis. So for the research methodology, the study was conducted in the states of Peninsular Malaysia and focused this study on the Klang Valley and outside Klang Valley, starting from 23 May 2022 until 28 May 2022. 132 respondents from various business and social background were randomly selected. The researcher distribute one set of questionnaire containing 2 sections with a total of 15 questions. Prior to data collection, participants were informed about the study objective, the confidentiality of individual information, and other ethical considerations indicated in the survey protocols. Next slide. For the data collection and analysis, this chapter presents the findings of this study based on the objective identified early in the report. Data collection from the questionnaire were collected from 132 respondents and analyzed. The findings of the study are presented in the forms of charts, tables, and diagrams. Figures for easy reference and significant result are further discussed and analyzed in detail in the chapter. So for the next slide is demographic profile of the respondent. A total of 50 valid questionnaires were obtained, indicating the satisfactory response rate. Table 1 depicts the distribution of respondents based on age and work experience. So when we look out at the age, about 32.6% respondents were 20 until 25 years old, and 15.2% is 26 until 30 years old, and then 15.2% is 31 until 35 years old, then 31.1 is 36 up to 40 years old, and another 6.1% is the respondent were 41 years above. And then for the business experience, table 1 indicates that 30.3% of the respondents had 2 until 4 years duration of business experience. Another 22% had 2 until 4 years of business experience, sharing the same percentage with 8 years and above business experience. On the other hand, only 8.3% of the respondents had 4 until 6 years old experience. Here we have the pie chart gender percentage. In the pie chart we can see that males show 64.4%, while females shows 35.6%. From the pie chart we can see that men play an active role in the business compared to women in the survey. Okay, in this slide there is two pie chart, where first pie chart is about the business location of the respondent, and then another one we have a pie chart business sector of the respondent. So I go through with the first one. The first one contains 59.8% of the respondents are from Klang Valley, and the remaining respondents are from the rest of Peninsular Malaysia. We call outside Klang Valley, with the percentage of 40.2%. Then we go for the business sector pie chart. The majority of the e-business owners are from the FMCG business with a staggering 40.2%, followed by the home appliance industry, represent by 9.8% of the respondents, and the rest of the business owners are from logistics, education, media, printing, training, IT and others. From the chart, most of the business owners are in the Malaysia FMCG industry. That's all from me. I will pass the presentation to Mr. Muhammad Irwan for the next presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Shahran. Hi everyone, I'm Muhammad Irwan bin Ismail. I will continue the presentation by present to you the data collected in section B related to the topic challenges of doing e-business during the pandemic. Firstly, we look reason to the suspension of production and operating on business. If a corporator need to put worker on floating status to allow the must follow a special produce. However, if they are unable to continue operation owing the financial loss, the next course of action is determined by the type of e-business. The main reason of the suspension of production and business operating will be difficulty in developing to the market about 69.7%, with over 50% of the wholesale lack of production material, and the impact of measures taken to respond to the outbreak also contribute the to the suspension as shown in bar chart. Reason is suspension. We look the operating pressure that e-business facing. This business environment is the combination of social, legal, economic, physical and political factors that affect business activities. Significant changes in any these factors are likely to create business pressure on the organization. Bar chart operating pressure clearly show the employee's salary in insurance are the main the pressure faced by e-business about 63.6%, followed by rent, building and equipment 62.9%. Others cancellation of contribute 47% as the third highest pressure that is e-business facing. Impact on staffing. Internal factor impact staffing need to each company, but external issue also play a major role. Company typically have a little or not control over external factor, forcing the adjust as need. Where some firms maintain the overall operation is stable, many experienced lawyers face closing of a variety of reasons such as material and stock. In pie chart, impact on staffing show 38.6% reduced staff by a lot, followed by 30.3% of business reducing strictly and 24.2% remain the same. The bar chart positive impact of the pandemic describe the financing planning taken by respondents to get the business back on track. The main alternative taken to go for loan. More than half of the respondents, about 71.2%, claim the business can get back on the track by apply loan. The next popular alternative among respondents are cutting pay and job with 54.5%. This step is understandable considering the number of respondents from F&B and furniture are high. Next, 50% of the respondents believe that by delaying payment can also solve the problem. Also at 32.7% of the respondents adding new shareholder as a part of the financing planning. Finally, only 22% of the respondents suggested that by adding new shareholder could get the business back on the track. In bar chart, its initiative taken by respondent in dealing with loss of revenue illustrated the initiative taken by a business owner to cope with the loss of revenue during the COVID-19 pandemic. The initiatives are divided into 4 as shown in the figure. Based on the result, 70.5% of the respondents adapted by increased online operation and dealing with of the lost revenue. Initiative to apply for financing 65.2%. This is due to the need to find a new revenue stream to cope the loss. Out of the 75 respondents, means 56.8% of the option to cut pay and job and to reduce the working hours to peak hours only to increase efficiency. For more, less than quarter the respondents have implement remote office, means she designed to digital office to reduce the number of staff to reduce costs, in others to save their business from growing. Respondents also took different initiatives by changing the business model by incorporating several solutions, and they have restructured the business. They adjust the financing loss. More business owners try to find different sources of income streaming and reduce costs. In bar chart, positive impact the pandemic show 109 of the business owners believe that the pandemic has prompted the establishment improvement of business information and digital software or application construction that contribute to 82.6%. they agree the remote office or remote business negotiation model, information and digitalized have improved the ability to respond to the major crisis. 88 business owners, about 66.7%, also stated that help to better release a business shortcoming and solve existing problem. While 56.1% agree to promote the establishment of remote office work, marketing strategy such as a communication channel experience. For example, offline selling is hard shopping mall was the core business of clothing. They moved the personnel from offline business to online sale team to a crisis. They're using live streaming and social media channel to successful complete the channel change to withstand the crisis. Through the finding as shown in pie chart, the impact of pandemic on business. According to the respondent opinion, generating review from a different source is best way of finding the business during the pandemic and balance of the income and especially with a respectable 43.2%. The cover financial loss business owner to find a new way to generate revenue like doing a side business. The next 37.1% among respondents is make a profit get their business online. Due to lack physical interaction between sellers and customers, 15.2% of the business owner loss. On the other hand, 4.5% of the respondents experienced seriously loss and bankruptcy. Majority believe that reducing the net essential cost is the best of the way to cope with the business loss. The option include reducing the working hours and trimming the number of staff. And last, we discussed the willingness to change from the perspective of the change process and the analysis of the pro and con of change or staying the same. That is used to establish our motivation, make change in our behavior. We also discuss self-affection and self-confidence which make success more likely. Research on public focusedly on change in the overall consumption flow, example consumption behavior, change in consumer decision making, and consumer psychology. Okay, look at the pie chart. Okay, pie chart willingness to change to the online platform show 31.1% very unwilling to change the online platform, but majority of the respondents agree to willingness to change as 28.8% very willing and followed by 33.5% willing to change to the online platform. I think that's all from me. Thank you, and I will pass the presentation over to my friend, Mr. Azri. Can you continue? Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Azri bin Zainal Abidin, and this is the last part of our presentation, conclusion and recommendation. So, the following conclusion can be made based on the finding. The finding revealed that majority of the business owner choose to reduce their own salary, cut down non-essential operating costs. The data also showed that some business owners need to lay off staff temporarily or stop wages for staff to cope with their losses. Moreover, some businesses are in crisis to be closed within 4 months to a year time if the condition does not improve. Number 2, the result of the study indicated that the steps taken shown in the survey questionnaire are acknowledged by the respondents as the step to fight revenue losses during pandemic. However, some business related to online entertainment such as food delivery, online shopping, online education, and medication are doing very well during this pandemic as the demand for their product keep increasing. Number 3, while many businesses in Klang Valley have maintained overall stability, others have experienced a halt in their operations or faces closure. Some of the businesses in our survey are willing to transform into online marketing, remote office work, and digital operation. Half of the businesses believe that there will be a certain loss this year, and a very high percentage of businesses expected a decreasing trend in the city GDP growth. And then there is a need to fully understand the impact of the epidemic on consumption and the difficulty of promoting the recovery of consumption. Also, in terms of how industry have been affected by the pandemic, policies need to be introduced to lower production costs for businesses and help businesses survive this difficult period and gradually return to normal business operation. And for recommendation based on the finding and conclusion of the study, the following are several recommendations to be considered. Small business owner must do a drastic change, which are involving downsizing worker, cut down salary to sustain the business throughout the COVID-19 phase. Small business owner must consider the alternative that is doing great, like the online business, to continue the survive of the business going through the pandemic. Small business owners should reduce the physical interaction and implement a strict standard operational procedure SOP to encourage customers come to their shop. Production and operation are supported by financial policies. Firms anticipate government policies and measures such as tax exemption, reduction, return and compensation to significantly reduce production costs and assist firms in surviving the difficult period of production and operation while gradually returning to normal business operation. Investment driving consumption. Investment should play a driving role in promoting consumption. Investment in fields such as public health facilities and healthcare should be increased to cultivate and expand consumer demand. And the last, the role of business association in boosting consumption. Industry organization could stimulate consumption by holding activities such as shopping festival and food festival, and create an environment conducive to online to offline integrated consumption such as concession model of innovation, policy stimulation, cooperation between banks and firms, service strengthening, and product innovation. Thank you. That's all for Central Group.